Hey guys, welcome back to another AFL Fantasy video. Before I get into this one, there's a couple quick things I'd like to say. Firstly, thanks so much for all the support you guys have given me on my first 3 videos. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. Secondly, I'm sure you guys have created your first team, so send a screenshot of your team to my Twitter or my Instagram. The links will be in the description below, and I'm going to be compiling all the teams I get sent into one video or possibly a series, and I'll be reviewing your teams. So let's get into today's video. So today I'll be discussing and going through my top 5 selections for the most talked about and controversial pick in your team this year, the second ruck. So let's start off with number 5. So starting it off and coming in at number 5, we've got Timmy English. He's priced at $446,000 and with an average score of 67 last year. He's only owned by 4% of the competition so far, so he's a very valuable pick. I think he can probably push for an average of 80 to 85 this year, which will up his average by around 15 to 20 points. So he's going to make you money in the process, so why not? Also, I've got a little plan with Timmy English, so if he decides to bust and he only goes back to his average of 67, which I don't think he will, playing as a sole ruck, but if he does for some reason, there is always that backup option after a couple rounds. Shane Mumford will come back off his suspension, and Shane Mumford is dirty cheap, so you can downgrade to him if it doesn't go well, but that's just an option for you. So yeah, that's Timmy English coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we've got ZAC Clarke. ZAC Clarke currently owned by 12% of the competition, so a lot of people are feeling they're going to go cheap with the second ruck and pick up ZAC Clarke. He's priced at an average of 37 points, so if he plays, no doubt he'll smash that. The only concern though is if he will play. He's playing under Bell Chambers, so if he gets a few games throughout the JLT and he's named for round 1, don't be afraid to jump on it. It can save you a lot of money that you can spend elsewhere in your team. But so he has averaged 80 points in the past at Freo, so don't be afraid to jump on if he plays, but the most likely he won't be getting a game, so just keep it on your watch list. The number 3 spot goes to Big Maxi Gawn. He's currently the most owned second ruck at 19%, and he had an average last year of 111, and was clearly the best second ruckman behind Brodie Grundy. So why have I not gone? So why have I only put him at number 3 this year? Well, that is simple. Braden Preuss. Now, Braden Preuss wouldn't have signed that deal with Melbourne if Melbourne didn't have the intention of him getting some games. Now, with Preuss in the calculations, I just can't trust Gawn, and I think if Preuss plays, Gawn will drop off his average to around 100, and the 2 and 1 in this list I think can hold an 100 average for a lot less price. So just watch it at the JLT. If Preuss doesn't get any games and it's looking like Gawn's going to be the sole ruck, back him in. But until then, until that's confirmed, I just can't see him being a good option for the number 2 ruck spot this year. Coming in at number 2, we've got STEFAN Martin. He's owned by 7% of the competition. He's averaged at a price of 101, and I think that's what we're going to get from him this year again. He's been a fantasy beast in the past, averaging scores of 114, 112 across full seasons, but he's dropped off a bit, but I still think he'll hold his 100 average, and he'll be a very good selection for the second ruck position. I think you've got to pick players like STEFAN Martin who have played with the number 2 with another ruck in their team before. So Steph and Grundy have done that, but players like Gawn haven't. So with the Gawn and Preuss concern, I think Steph's a great option to have there, possibly scoring the same amount as Gawn and for a lot less price. So if you want to, back him in. So the number 1 spot goes to Big Sauce Jacobs. He's priced at an average of 81, which is 17 points lower than he was priced at last year. I think the drop-off was just to do with the Crows as a team as a whole. Lots of other players dropped off with their averages significantly, and I think that this year they'll bounce back, and I think Sammy Jacobs will lift his average back up to 100. And I think he'll be a great R2 selection behind Grundy. So until we find out and we can confirm that Preuss won't be playing with Gawn, and we can confirm that ZAC Clarke will be playing, I think Sam Jacobs is a great option to have as your R2 slot. That's it for today's video, guys. I've gone through the top 5 R2 slots behind Grundy, and I've given you some possible options that you can consider when choosing your second ruck slot. At this stage, I'm actually going with Tim English. I think that he's got good upside, and there's a good strategy going with him for Mumford if he fails. But that's just me at this stage. Anything can change throughout this long preseason. Remember to send me those teams through Twitter or Instagram, and I'll do that in a couple of days, make a first video on that. So make sure you subscribe for more content and like the video if you enjoyed it. See ya.